Hey guys, Opal here, and today I'm going to be doing a speed build of the Plaza, and I went for a very city core like feel. I'm just doing the right side of the build, and then I'm going to do a second part doing the left side because it just took so long and I didn't want the video to be about an hour long. So on this side I've got the bakery and the two stores. So we have Scrooge's and Daisy's boutique, and I went with kind of a natural feel but still very city-like. So I have a lot of greenery around and stuff like that, but it is still very city core-like. So right now I'm just filling in that back area, and this is where we have a mining node, so I'm just making sure that it's accessible through there just in case I need to use the mining node. And I've never done the asphalt with the brick pathing, but I really like how it looks, and I think it really does give it a city core vibe. And I really like how this area turned out. I just did 2 clock towers, is that what you call them, with some bushes around, and I end up fencing it off with the brick fences, and I think it looks really nice and it makes for a good entrance. So here's me fencing it off, and I just put a couple of trees in there and some foliage. The foliage that I use are the plants that we get from the expansion pass, and they're just the really bright green wild tangle plants that we get. So for the trees I just use the maple trees, the simple maple, and a mix of the Japanese trees, and I also use, I think they're called the oak trees. They're the bright green trees, and we just get that one size of them, but I just use a little bit of them here and there because I think they look really nice with the maple trees. So I just put these trees in, and then I go in with some of the thorns as well as those other plants that we get from the expansion pass, these ones here. I think that they're really nice because they only use like a really small tile, so you can really fit them in everywhere. Now I just go in and I add some flowers around the borders, and I end up using the yellow flowers because I think they look a little bit better. And then I just add those recycling bins that we got in the new update. Since the flower beds don't properly align in the space, I also just added these bushes to fill it out a little bit more. And then here's where I just add a little bit of a farm plot, I guess you would call it. It's just where I have some of my bushes and I line it with the leaf border. And I also do it on the other side here. And now we're starting on the bakery, so I just use the gazebo, and I'm just figuring out what type of fencing and seating I want to add to this area, and I end up going with the white picket fence because I think it matches the vibe of the bakery. And I also go with some of the new seating that we got in the Star Path, the red seats. Here I'm just trying out some different options, but I don't end up keeping these. Here you can see I switched the side, and this is a side that I end up using, and where I've fenced off that area at the back, this is where I put lots of shrubs and greenery and trees. Now I'm just grabbing lots of items that I want to use and figuring out what I want this area to look like, and I went with kind of a cozy cottage sort of vibe for the bakery, and I think it looks really nice in the end. This is just the grates from the Caribbean pack that I use as decoration for the road, and I think they add a lot of texture. I decided to add some tables at the back, and I want to later on go back and put lots of like cakes and other items to decorate, sort of like a table where people can buy baked goods. This is where I swap out those tables for the white cloth tables, and I use those red chairs from our star path, and I think the red looks really good because it matches with their marquee. Then I'm just going in and adding some more decorations, and I do use a lot of wooden items like the barrels and stuff like that. Now I'm finally putting the gazebo over everything, and it takes me a while to adjust everything to look good under the gazebo. I didn't want it to look too crammed or for it to feel like there was too much going on in the space. And now I'm moving on to the left corner of the bakery, and I just use this as a transition area. I don't do too much in this space. I mostly just put some foliage as well as some crates and decoration to continue on with the cottagey feel. And here I do the same sort of thing that I did in the back beside Scrooge's shop. I just fence off an area, put some trees and foliage, and that's about it. I use the same plants in this entire build. I just use some ferns, the Plaza bushes, and the wild tangle plants. Now I'm just decorating at the front of the bakery, and at first I wanted to just do some bushes, but then I thought to also put some seating, so I go in, and it took me a while to figure out what kind of seating I wanted at the front of this, because I think that the two benches look a little bit funny together, especially when they're so spaced apart. I end up just going with something really simple, but I had to cut out a lot of me just trying different things with nothing really working. I ended up moving Daisy's shop to the Mike and Sully apartment, and instead I put the partner statue in this area so that the walkway felt a little bit more open, and then I just added some bushes and foliage to the space. This is pretty much the end of the design. I just go in with some finishing touches, like adding some of the tropical wood flooring to the underside of the gazebo, as well as making a path to the Forest of Valor. So here is the final walkthrough of this side of the plaza. Here's the 2 clock towers on each side. I think they look really nice, as well as Daisy's shop and the Mike and Sally house skin. Here's the cafe and the little sitting area. And for the seating, we just have those seats that we got from the Star Park, along with some farmy sort of items. And I still want to go back and add some food decorations to the space. Here we have the Walt and Mickey partner statue and the Scrooge store. And here's just an overview of what the build looks like. I think it turned out pretty good, and I'm really excited to work on the second half of the plaza. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.